Okay, perfect. Oh man, it's great. Okay, let me just share this one moment. Good morning, everyone. If you are tuning in, welcome. Join us live with Unleash Your Story this morning with the man, Joshua Tatafu. Okay, all right, awesome. Okay, what time is it? 5 more minutes. Okay, stop recording. So you're currently at work. When's your last day?
My last day is Thursday morning. This Thursday morning.
Okay. That's quite an interesting event. Well, I won't go into it because you're going to be touching on it later. So, yeah. Okay. All right. We'll just start now. Okay. So, welcome, good morning, good evening, good night to all our average partners who are able to tune in from all over the world, or for those people who are always tuning in, trying to learn as much as you can on what we do online. So thank you for being here with us. My name is Nellie Tipple Wilson Atero, hosting our Unleash Your Story this morning. These are stories from real people in our community who are creating an ecosystem where it will bring equal distribution of wealth and ideas that became reality, creating a new breed of entrepreneurs using the product and services that benefits them, and therefore bringing about change and drawing us closer to our mission, and therefore and theory of the new economic evolution of the world. So joining me this morning is this down-to-earth, humble, loving, and such a great leader who leads from the front, Joshua Tatafu. I met Josh online as an active member of our new mission and average community. His journey is one of a kind. And one thing I love about you, Josh, is how raw and real you are, and a combination of sarcastic, funny, full sense of humor, and exposing your vulnerability side. And that to me speaks for itself. So Josh also has a good heart, a huge heart of gold. And, it touches me how you make people feel so special, whether you are delivering food and put in front of people in our community, like Andrew Hawks, Andrew Donnie Brooks, when they're on quarantine, but also taking the time out to sing a happy birthday on our timelines. I don't know about how other people feel, but when you're singing a birthday live and doing that, you make people feel so special. And to me, those are moments where it kind of sticks with you forever, right? So now there's more to Josh, but let's hear it from him. And welcome, Josh. So grateful to have you on here this morning. I know it's 3 a.m. in Sydney and you're out at work, so I appreciate your time so very much. So Josh, I'll hand it over to you. Do introduce yourself. I know your following knows a lot about you, but my following and others, friends of friends, don't know, but I'd love, they would love to hear from you.
Well, firstly, thanks and praise to God for allowing us this opportunity. And thank you so much. It's a privilege and an honor to be on and to share my story with you and the rest of the community. Like you said, we've met online last year.
Yes.
Or whenever we did, and it's been an amazing journey ever since then.
Yeah.
A little bit about myself. As you know, my name is Joshua Tatafu. People call me Joshy right now. But my full name is Sosiwa Joshua Tatafu Pohiva. I'm 37 years of age. I was born in Auckland, New Zealand. I'm of Tongan, Niuean, Kiribati, and French heritage. I only just found out the rest of my heritage through a course we did, M260, a brilliant course that we did last year.
Yes.
And we can talk about that a bit later.
Yeah.
I'm the oldest of 4 kids. And on my dad's side, I'm one of the oldest, so I'm seen as a leader. In his side also, I have cultural responsibilities.
Yes.
On my mum's side, we're kind of in the middle. Mum's the princess, and I've kind of followed in her footprints as being a princess as well. But yeah, that's a little bit about my family. I currently in a separation. Like you said, I'm honest about my journey. Yeah. I'm in a separation. I was married for 13 years. I have two amazing kids. I have a son that is 11 years old, and I have a daughter who is 9 years old. They're both in New Zealand at the moment. And the most exciting part about my journey right now is I get to see them in about a month. I've been working with youth since I was a youth. Back in school, I was part of a leadership group, so I was part of the prefix team. I was supporting our youth counselor. People would naturally come and talk to me because I just like listening to people.
Yes, approachable. Yes.
I just like helping. Generally, that was just me from a young age.
Yes.
I've always been a part of youth in our church. Became a youth leader within our Tongan community. We got to merge with our Samoan community, and we started a community youth, which was amazing.
Oh wow!
Going back into school, I also did I was selected of 3 key students who went up and down New Zealand and helped setting up these youth groups called Rama within other Catholic schools. So yeah, I'm a Catholic by birth. I believe in God. I believe in God. I do.
Yes.
And it's been like, I've been off and on, but I genuinely still am thankful, and I pray every day. I'm thankful to God, and and that's my journey with God. I finished school. I didn't get to study because mum and dad weren't financially set. So I did 6 months. I just mucked around for 6 months, and then I went into work. I think my first job I had was I was a bed assembler. Right. So in North Shore, I think I was 18 and a half, and I started assembling beds, mattress. If you've heard of Sealy Posturepedic, I was working in a factory in North Shore, and I was there for about like a whole year. But I started off at one station, and all I was to do was just to glue on pillow tops. So if you think about a really nice bed, and at the top of the bed is like a nice layer of nice layer of cloud. That was me, right? So if you woke up because you had a nice sleep, that's because of me. If you were sleeping on a ceiling. So I did that, and I moved around, and I made friends, and I got to know about beds, and I got to meet some amazing people there. I left there, and I started a job doing importing meats to France. We did like veal tenderloins, and it was just crazy there too. So I did that for about a year. Before that, I had applied for a job in youth justice, right? So it's a residential center. So I met on mine on Facebook. I reached out to them, and they said, "You might be interested in this job." And then I applied, and then like later on that year, I got the job. I was a casual. I worked in a youth facility called Korowai Manaki. They were part of MSD, which is currently known as Orang Tamariki, or OT for those people in New Zealand. They're basically social development, or no, Ministry of Social Development. When I studied. And I did youth work there. I started off as a casual. I worked my way up. I became a team leader. I did program coordination. I did all sorts of things. I was a union delegate there, the youngest union delegate, and health and safety. All these things that I started to learn there. And I was there for like 12 years, from 2004 to 2015. I don't know how many years that is, but that's how long I was there. Wow. And then my kids and their mum, they were in Australia in 2015. We had one of those moments, and they left, and I stayed back in New Zealand, and I just carried on my journey. During that time, I finished work, or I was actually injured, so I did a hyperextension on my arm doing boxing, and I was off work for a couple of months. I was on ACC, which is like you're off work and getting paid until you recover.
Until you healed up, yes.
Yep. And then so I looked at doing other things. Like I was getting bored. So I got into insurance underwriting for health and accident and hospital care. And I did that for 6 months, and that was my first time looking into like the finance industry.
Yes, yeah.
And things were kind of amazing. Like I started to see money roll in a different type of way, rather than me just working shift work and like 8-hour, 10-hour, 12-hour, 16-hour days.
Yes.
I could go out there and provide someone a policy, and I'd make like a certain amount of money. I then the kids that year, 2015, they asked me to go over for Christmas, and then I flew over. But I had planned in the beginning of 2016 to go and do law.
Right.
I wanted to wanted to study law, and I wanted to get into intellectual property.
Yes.
By then I started to understand more about money and how things were kind of working, and law and intellectual property is like, it was just a big space where you can like make a lot of money. Initially, I wanted to be a family court law.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Family court law. Yes.
Yeah. I wanted to go work in the family courts, but but then I kind of steered into intellectual property.
Right.
So I was all set. So I wrote my letter to the university, and I could go in through like a mature or Pacific Island and apply for a what were they called? A grant or whatever it was back then, to start my studying. But because my kids asked me to go over, because my kids had asked me to go over for Christmas, I ended up going to Australia November 30th, 2015. And I just ended up staying here. And I've been in Australia since 2015. I got into more youth work. I got into disability. I got into aged care and mental health. I stayed with my industry here. And then I finally settled in this beautiful place here. It's a restoration program where we help kids get back to their families. And fortunately for me, and unfortunately, because I love working with youth, I love working with families and helping families get back together, or just helping our youth. This is my last week of work, and I will be pursuing our business on a more fuller scale and really focusing on the business side.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's my life right now.
Yeah. Wow, that's, oh my gosh, I can just picture the entire journey that you had. And I love that, that just shows how creative you are in mind. You can blend into different sort of environment, and just you can work well in those areas. So love it. Oh, wow. So growing up, what are some of the interests that you pursue or goals you want to achieve, and what did you do to achieve them?
Yeah. Growing up, I don't know. I was really goalless, eh? Like, I was just a happy-go-lucky kind of guy. Just do whatever and just do whatever. I did want to be free, in the sense of I wanted to make money and make my parents proud of me, and make my kids proud of me. So I guess later on in life, I started to want goals. I guess more when I started this journey with Everidge, that my goals started to be more apparent. That I wanted to be financially free, that I wanted to travel the world. I got to do a little bit of traveling the world earlier. But what the difference is back then was that I had to work an insane amount of time, and then take off an amount of time, and then save up an amount of money to go and travel, and then go back home and then carry on with work.
Right.
And that happened like once a year, or maybe once every 2 years, right? And one of my goals was to, for travel, was I want to go experience the world. And I often explain it like this: if God created the world, right? This massive world, and we're in this little block of, this 4-walled blocked off house, right? And all that we can see is just in front of us. But God created everything else in the world for us to go and see. But why aren't I and my kids out there experiencing and seeing the world? And it was because I was stuck. I was stuck because society said this, and culture said this, and family said this. And my vision was cut short. So I didn't, I could only see the whole world on YouTube or on TV.
Right. Yeah.
why just watch it when I can experience it? So that's one of my biggest goals, is to experience the world. It's
Yes.
to experience culture, countries,
Mm.
love around the world with my kids and my loved
Yeah.
ones. In regards to, I played a bit of sports. Actually, I'm the guy that just gives everything a go, right? And if I'm good at it, I'm good. And if I'm bad at it, I'm bad, right? But I try and give everything a go.
Yes. Yeah.
So like with sports, I did all sorts of sports during college. I
Yeah.
came to Sydney, and I jumped into some rugby here. I hadn't played
Yeah.
rugby for years, but jumped into it. Felt good getting smashed around
Yeah.
and smashing people.
And I heard you
Um,
also took on boxing. How did that go?
yeah, boxing was more for just getting
Casual
fit.
or professional
Yeah.
or oh yeah?
No. I wish. At a young age, you get
Yeah.
into a couple of fights on the street and whatever. But no, I was never intending to be a professional boxer.
Professional.
It was more just to get my
Yeah.
fitness up
Yes.
and
Oh, okay. All right.
yeah,
Wow, that's good. That's amazing. And also, I saw, I think when we had that event in India, I was already here, and I saw you taking your team and your families over to India, and I saw that. I think for me, when you said one of your goals is travel the world, that's part of that journey, right? Is experiencing the culture of India. And I saw a lot of us like, wow, I went through your was like, oh man, I wish I was there. But I had to kick myself because it was just too late for me to process attending that. But good to see, that you've experienced that side of the world. And I know where, if it wasn't for COVID, I know we would be having an event here at Russia, I believe,
yeah,
physically.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Russia or Vegas, yeah,
or
wherever.
oh my gosh, I can't wait if it was here in America. Vegas, I can
100%.
definitely single die. Okay, all right, awesome. That's great stuff. Now, can you share some aha moments and also, life-changing decisions in terms that changed your life?
Yeah, yeah. I guess the first aha moment was when I started to work in the industry, when I did the underwriting and insurance work.
Okay.
That for a little bit of work, like generally it was trade my hour for a certain amount of wage. Here I was trade like a sale, like a policy sale into
Yeah.
a really good amount of money. Um, that was probably my first moment. Like I can make more money in a different way of working.
Mm,
I guess the biggest aha moment was when I understood what I invested in with this
mm.
company.
Oh yeah,
Because
yeah.
because I mean part of the story. So I came to Australia in 2015, right? In
Yes.
6 months, I was able to create I think it was $110,000, right?
Mm,
And I had worked 16-hour days for 7 days a week, like no breaks for 6 months, and I just made like crazy amount of money in that short amount of time.
mm,
But what happened was like I just spent the money on nothing. Like I just it just came in and it went out as fast as it came in.
mm.
And then I started to see in Australia, people were like opportunists. They had different things going on for them. So I looked into investing. There's other companies like MLM companies, or
Yes,
networking companies.
yes.
I got into two, not to become a part of the team, but just because of the product and service that it had. And I used it for my family. It was like a nutritional drink for mom and dad, and then
Right.
like some techwear, some health medical techwear that I could
Mm,
help that could help me monitor mom and dad's health. And I
right.
got into that, and then looking around, and I had met people. I met this gentleman called Artie Finau,
Oh yeah.
and
Mm.
he was the one that introduced me to Swig back in the days.
Oh, okay.
But I actually came across it on YouTube, I think, or was an ad somewhere, and I really liked the idea. It was a guy
Yeah.
in his car. He's driving on the highway. He's like an English guy, and he's talking about this transport technology. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, like I want to get into investing.
Yes,
It's
yes.
something I want to do. And it
Yeah.
wasn't till Adi goes, hey bro, have a look at this, man. It looks pretty solid. This transport technology. It's good for the world, and
Yes. Yeah.
it's cheap, and all of what scrubbing technology was. And I go, okay,
Yeah.
cool. And for me, I just wanted to invest my money because I had
Mhm.
a bit of money at that time.
Right, right.
And the aha moment didn't come till, so I invested in the company in 2016, 17. And then my aha moment came when I went to Master Profi, which was a year later. Like about 18 months later, I took it on, I took on the education. And it was Master Profi in Gold Coast. That was the biggest Master Profi here in the Southern Hemisphere. There was 100 people. I met all sorts of people there. I met top MLM leaders. I met millionaires. I met, you know, Andrew Hawks, Neil, Mila. I met Rita. I met all these amazing people there. And that's when my first aha moment was. A Master Profi course. It was a 3-day course, and it was amazing. It really got me to really think about my actual financial and investment literacy. Another aha moment was India. You know, when who would have thought this, you know, big, scary-looking Tongan would make it to India?
Yes.
And you know, like everyone knows what the numbers are. 17,000 people were there, about 2,000 were outside, and then many thousands more, hundreds of thousands were watching online. And to be in the atmosphere, to be with our top leaders, to be with Andre Haratov, to be, you know, part of the Kapa Haka group that did the haka, you know, and that's where I kind of got my, you know, this here. If you can picture this here, was like all out and everywhere. I'm on the stage, you know, with, you know, good 30 people with all our top leaders, all our Australian, Māori, Pacific Island, New Zealand family. And we're doing a haka to 17,000 people there. And the whole time we're doing a haka, I'm looking straight in Andre's eyes, right? And I'm looking directly at him, and my body's like fully engaged with him. And the others are like, you know, hakaing to the whole stage. And I'm looking at this guy, and in my mind, I'm going, this is the challenge. So the haka is a challenge, right? It's a Māori cultural dance. It's a war challenge.
It is powerful. Yeah, the haka is powerful.
It is. It's crazy. It's crazy. And then we did the haka, but I did the haka to Andre, and in my mind I was going, Andre, this is the challenge to you. You know, we came this far. I'm a guy that doesn't do this. Like, you know, I didn't have dreams, right? And I'm challenging you. Like, you know, you better do what you say you're doing, right? That's what I was thinking in my mind. But but he's already set the platform, and I think what it was, you know, on reflection, it was about me doing what I needed to do, because he's already set everything up, and it was about the community coming together and making the dream come true. And it's just, that was the aha moment in India as well. I got to Taj Mahal. That, who would have thought I would have went to see one of the 7 wonders of the world? But I did. And then, yeah, the education definitely was an aha moment. You know, I never know about, you know, investing or financial education. These are the things that we needed to be taught when we were younger.
Yeah.
And only a certain amount of, or certain type of people, you know, get this education, and they, you know, become prosperous, and they are also greedy because they don't really share it. You know.
Yeah.
Here,
absolutely.
Here, you know, another aha moment was seeing our leaders and their journey, and how they give back to the company. And I resonate with that. You know, if you're giving and you're loving and you're helping people, I'm with you 100%.
That's right.
And I saw that. I saw that with our Australian and New Zealand leaders, just because that's, you know, that's how we grew up. I saw it with our Vietnam and American leaders, you know. So I heard about Devon and Cam, you know, their partners or their community will put all their loyalties together, and they'll go, you know, buy things for the homeless. I know that there was a group that was led by one of our Oman leaders, you know, who reached out, and they, you know, 10 people came together. They put in and they built wells.
That's right.
For Africa, and I was part of that. And then I got sent a video. Where the village was, you know, they were singing and they were happy, and then they showed us the pump, and our pump was called Wairua, or Wairua, or it was something. It was a Māori name. It was given to this pump, and it had the number and everything, and like they shared the picture, and it was just, you see little kids smiling, and you know, the families that are happy, and then you just think, you know, I was a part of that, you know, giving back to our community.
Yes.
And that's another, you know, that our leaders in our community are giving, even though we were just starting off in this company and just receiving peanuts or whatever amount that, you know, came to us.
Yeah. People
were ready to give, and give freely, and give so that we could help others. And that's that was
Wow. Yeah. I can resonate with you on that. I mean, we have this World Peace Association as well, in Russia, where our community, where it's open to our community, whether you want to become involved with it. It's just amazing. And I know that with our leader Andre, our CEO, he's the one that initiated from the beginning all these, so
Yes.
that we can all come together and help build and help others. Oh gosh, like I mentioned before when I was introducing you about how I see you doing these little things in our community. It's
Yes.
just really nice to see, genuinely out there, being there for our people, being there for our leaders, and being there for anyone. And that feels really, really good. There's a saying, if it's anything that you want to make, is the feeling that you left with people, how you treat them, right, and how you make
Yes.
them feel special, right. Yeah, in America, where we're so grateful also for Devin and Cam. I mean, they do a lot of that uh, work of helping others. So yeah, we do the very same as well. But awesome, that's great. So you got a lot of aha moments. Hey, I
Oh,
think one of the things, when I was looking back on our indie event, he was how you did the haka. That's one thing that, because when you are on that stage, oh my gosh, it was so powerful because it's also included. There's a video of it, and when you're up there in that stage, you represent all of us. You represent our entire Polynesian and our Kiwi side, and oh my gosh, it was so good to actually see somebody there just representing all of us there. So that was really, really, for me, that was an aha moment for me as well. Is
yes.
and it gives me the goosebumps when I see that.
I still, even now, just thinking about it,
Yeah,
it gives me the goosebumps. I
yeah.
actually did another aha moment, or like a starstruck moment. So I hosted M260, one of the sessions for M260.
Yes, yes, yes. And you
Yeah,
were doing
and
this, yes.
I got to host, and I had to present or introduce Andre. So I didn't know Andre was the topic speaker that night.
Right,
Um,
right.
I was told the night before, and Neil and Haran, they rang me up that night. They're just giving me crap. They're just like, well, they were supportive and stuff, but like I was feeling nervous already.
Right,
And
right, right.
they're like saying, don't mess this up. Make stand up. Do something, like make sure that Andre remembers you.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
remember, my internet was crap. I was in a bad area. My I actually dropped out twice. But what I really loved was, you can see in the comments on the Zoom, people are like, "Hey Josh," everyone was rooting for me. Everyone was like
That's good.
excited. Even though like my screen was off, everyone was like excited as. And then I told the translator, for this, I don't need you to translate. I just need you to tell Andre, I'm gonna do something for him. And I did the
Right.
haka for him.
Yes, yes, you did.
Whooped out my hair and
Yeah.
stretched out my hair, and I
What's
did the
up in here?
haka.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah, man. This here is a trademark within our community. But
Yeah.
I did the haka, and I felt like I was like you said, it was powerful to do it. Like, I'm not of Maori heritage or culture, but I was raised up in it, and
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I could feel the spirit. And Andre
Yes.
said some amazing things.
Yes, of
Andre
course.
acknowledged me. He acknowledged our culture. He acknowledged New Zealand. He acknowledged my spirit, my power, and that he could feel it over there in Russia or
Yeah.
wherever he was. And that was another aha moment. Like,
Yeah.
because he
Exactly.
knows who I
Yes.
am, and
Yes.
oh
And,
yeah,
and,
that
and
was
not
yeah.
only that, because our CEO, like Andre, he's also that spiritual kind of person. And
Yes.
and when he said that he felt it, it's to us that he really meant it. Hey, but that was one hell of a MLCI
Oh,
session, was when you were
yeah,
wow, it's mind-blowing. It just blew up. That's
yeah,
wow, that's good. That's good. I mean, those, man, is so lucky. Those are some aha moments that you are, you look back, you reflect on it, and it makes you really proud. You
yeah.
just tap yourself on the shoulder, say, I'm proud of you, and that's really, really awesome. Okay, so what are your hobbies or things you love doing when you have free time? We love
Um,
this.
yeah, so just recently I started getting into fitness. So with
Right. Yes, I saw that.
with our financial journey, we always talk about with wealth, you need, good health. Well, point
That's
is,
right.
having wealth if you're gonna, not live long enough to enjoy it.
Right.
So recently I've been on a health journey, a fitness journey. I'm slowly getting there. It gets up and down, but it's a journey.
Yes.
I love helping people. I do a lot of work here with different groups that volunteer for different services, homelessness, feeding. I catch up with different people and just check in with mental health. Like I really, really emphasize mental health. It started off every Friday on my timeline. I just chucked it out there that I open up a Zoom room, for our partners. Come and talk about what's going on for you, how you're going, how you're trekking on the journey. Is there any kind of mental health support that you need? Because it's not just about the business, this journey. It was about what's going on in your life as well, and how could I give a bit of value there? Because I know people go through hard times, and not often people want to talk about
That's
it.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm real passionate about mental health.
Yeah.
Especially around our men. And if I could be even more specific, our Pacific Island men, and with dealing with emotions and their mental health as well. It's not a thing we talk about. We don't talk about feelings a lot. So I get into that. I'm with a group called Kiwi Dads.
Yes.
I was part of the Sydney team here, and it's a support group network that that looks after mental health and also all things to do with being a father, a good father, a recovering father, all those type of things. I did get into sports at one time, but now it's just connecting with people is probably my biggest hobby. Social media has actually started to grow on me. Like I would only post a few things, a week back, 5 years ago. Now I'm like on social media, and I'm kind of really trying to learn about it just so that it benefits me and my business. And not only that, but like I really want to give value back to people, like keep people smiling and like let people know
absolutely.
It's gonna be okay. And if I, you said it before, like I joke around a lot. Like if I can make someone smile today, then I'm happy. And so that's kind of my hobbies for now.
I laugh at your stances most of the time. It's like, oh my gosh, this guy. I know, you're putting a smile on the community's faces and people, that's following you. And it's just like Walter's on our Facebook Live, saying good morning, and also him. I can also see that. I was like, wow, okay, here's another Josh coming. But it's amazing. I love that. Oh man, that's good. And I also saw on one of your stats the other day about fishing. You were fishing with your kids. I love that.
Swear. So thank you for reminding me. But I love fishing. Yeah. So I remember Dad taking us out to Auckland Wharf, and we'd be there and playing with big bait and like climbing through, like the wharf at that time had like broken wood pallets so we could climb down and play around. But my uncle got a boat and we did go fishing, went into chartered fishing in New Zealand. We went into like surf casting. They would travel outside of Auckland and like throw lines out into like a river or a lake or whatever. And then I came to Australia. And no offense, Australia, but your fishing is the worst fishing I've ever had, right? So I did a charter a couple of months ago, and we're pulling up all these fish, and like I'm used to fish like trevally, snapper, kingfish, mullet, those type of fish in New Zealand. I pull up these little like grounded looking flathead. I was like, what the hell are these, man? But like, I love fishing. Every time I go back to NZ, I have to go fishing. It's a must that I have to go fishing. But I definitely love fishing. It's therapeutic,
Yes.
You got the wind in your face, you got the water. Like we often jump off the boat and just enjoy the sea.
Exactly.
We eat fish straight out of the water. We literally just catch it, cut it, eat it, and
I
can't get any more fish
gosh. It also makes you feel like you're at home, because that's part of our cultures. you know, the sea is part of us, you know. I love fishing too. Like sometimes I would look for people to see if they're going fish. So, you know, take me along with you. I had to
Right.
beg people because, you know, that's how crazy I am when it comes to fishing. But oh man, that's so awesome. That's why when I was putting down this question about your hobbies, like the fishing part came to me. I was like, I hope you
Yeah.
better mention the fishing part because I love hearing it. But that's great. That's awesome. Any other hobbies aside from anything that you mentioned?
Like because of M260, I got into reading and journaling.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
and that's as for me, like I never used to read. I
Yeah.
read back in college,
Mm,
and I read when I have to read, like if I have to be at work and read like employee contracts and code of
right.
conduct and work, because I want to know and I want to be safe of where I'm at.
Yeah. Mm,
But I didn't know there's like self-help books. I didn't know there were self-development books. I didn't know there were like books on, I knew, but I didn't
really.
make
Yes.
sense.
Mm,
But M260 came along. I saw people, I heard people, I felt people, I saw success. And then
mhm.
all of that was about, strengthening the mind.
Yeah.
And then I started to read. But the most powerful part was journaling, eh?
That's right. Yeah. That was so
So
powerful. Who
yes,
delivered that? I think that was Andrew Holtz that delivered
Hawks,
the
Hawks,
journaling.
he
Yeah.
did.
Mm,
And the power from pen to paper, it
yes.
is It
Yeah.
is, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And then you go back and you read and you reflect on your week, your day, your goals
Yeah.
that you set through this.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then you can track your journey. And then you can, if you just be honest with your journey, then everything will feel good.
Mm,
You don't have to pretend to be whatever. You can just be honest. If you be honest with yourself and trust in yourself, then and that's a journey that I've had to kind of find. Like
yeah.
at that time I was like in the hype, and then the hype had left. But it wasn't until I understood the meaning of the importance of these things that you
Yeah.
know it became more and more valuable for me.
Yeah. And then you put it in, it's kind of like your daily routine and being aware
Yeah.
of it, that okay, this needs to be done. Or I love, you know, what you mentioned about journaling because yeah, it really helped me too. Like some days I get distracted and then I forget to follow through, you know, and then when you look back, it's like, oh my gosh, I gotta, how many days left for me to do this? So I kind of like, held myself accountable to that, right?
No,
Love it.
100%.
Yeah.
And my journaling it looked different. Like it
Yeah.
could be audio. Like I've got like a log of audios where I just
Mhm.
talk to myself, and
Yeah.
or I used to do like Facebook lives. Like I could track,
Yes.
or
Yes.
Facebook will remind me of my
Yeah.
Facebook live about
Yeah.
my journey.
Yeah.
And then but yeah, like going back to pen, the power of uh, pen to paper.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. Like
Yeah.
and yeah, and then aha moment. It's another aha moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Tell us about your story. This is the most important of all is tell us about your story and your journey in Everidge. What has Everidge offered you that separates from all your other ventures that you did in the past?
Yeah. Oh, I guess to take it back to the beginning.
Right.
Before the age of 22, I inherited I think it was $600,000 to $700,000 of debt, and it was a struggle. It's been a struggle ever since, right? So I picked up on a mortgage for my parents because dad stopped working and mum was a sole provider. And she had like little odd jobs. She was a stewardess at a hotel, and it became like a carer at a restaurant. And her pay wasn't great. New Zealand's pay wasn't that great. And mum carried our little family for years and years and years. And my grandpa, he passed away, and my nan needed help with her house. So she was a retiree on the pension, and she needed help too. So I needed to jump on that as well. My working journey started, and I would literally get $20 a week from my pay, and I'd just go to mum and dad. That's the general Pacific Island
Yes.
journey, right?
Right.
And I would never ask for things because I didn't need anything, right?
Right.
Mum and dad will always offer, but I'll be okay as long as home was set, things were okay. Then I was good. $20 was okay.
Mm.
Yeah, so I carried on my working journey. Everidge came at a really good time. Like I said, I made quite a bit of money in my first year here, and I wasted it. and I started to see people online. I started to see, entrepreneurship. I started to see networking. I started to see investors, and I was like, well, what's the difference between me and them? They talk about they weren't educated, they just made a decision and then they went on a journey. Now they're making ridiculous amounts of money. They're living their life, they're living their dreams. And it was always like, why can't I be like them?
That's right.
What's so different between me and them?
Mm-hmm.
And when I got into this, to the Eva Rich family, like it was just invested into, our first project, Skyway Technology. And I just left it there thinking, oh yeah, I'll be rich in like 10 years time. I'll still go to work and stuff. And it wasn't until that first, that second aha with Master Coffee. Hey, the education, right? The education really, like I sat on it for 18 months. And then I just, just the simple 8 rules of the private investor. That allowed me to see where my money was going, to understand the difference between independence and freedom, to learn about investing, to not be greedy, our 5 commandments. And I guess, the biggest part there was to put 10 to 30% away, put it away and do something with it, invest into me. Like no point investing into everything else if I wasn't, in the right place. So Eva Rich allowed me for this, allowed this to happen for me. And I've talked about this on almost every Zoom I'm on every interview I'm on. Self-development was the biggest part here for me that I've taken from this journey.
That's right.
Right. Like I'm not confident. I'm confident when I'm in a group of people that I'm comfortable with. Like I can be like who I am. But this journey was about, being like global, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a part of the local leadership council after India. And I was shy still because I didn't know how to communicate on Facebook or social media or random people. That's not how I do things, right? Like I have to be in like a work setting or a team setting to be me and be like whatever. And it was really a massive journey about self-confidence, self-development. And again, I talk about this in everywhere I went, that the self-development was the biggest part of my journey. So I understood about investing and I learned about investing and I knew that my rewards will come, when it does come.
That's right.
And the important thing for me was that I planted seeds. Eva Rich not only planted the financial seeds, it planted, self-love in a sense, I got to see people who were, proud of what they were doing and they were fearless and they just did what they did, out of their hearts, and they didn't care, didn't worry about what people were saying, what people were saying. They just did the journey.
That's right.
And I will always be grateful for Eva Rich, for allowing me to grow into the person I am today. And because of that, I touched so many people's lives as well as being touched by so many people. And yeah.
Wow. Oh, I know you have so much. I know there's a lot there that you haven't unfolded in your journey, but I can, see, and I can see huge things coming from you in the future because you've got that loving heart. And we joined this journey because in the beginning we joined because we see the money side, but as we tend to know more and more about it, money is not even a thing anymore. You continue to, there's so much, like you said, personal growth is key, your mindset. And when you start feeding your soul with these positive things and learn and you have that seed of love, like you mentioned, everything else just seems to it calms your soul down, and the money will follow. Like whatever you're doing right now, you don't care about the money, but the money will follow because you already know that you planted the seeds already. Hey, and that's the beauty of what we're doing. And for those people out there who I'm going to ask you, what is one of your favorite projects in our ecosystem? Because I know we have a lot, but what is your favorite out of all? I know there's a lot, but you choose 1 and 2.
Yeah, okay. So I mean, I'll forever be grateful for the Academy of the Private Investor.
Yes.
Because that's where it all started for
everyone.
From,
yes.
it's the education, like, and we all learn about this, or we've heard about this. Without this education, our blessings that are coming are not going to be useful, or not going to be well, like, we're not going to, it's not going to be looked after if we don't learn how to not only do things today, but prepare for the future, right? So at the Academy of Private Investor, not only like planting seeds with self-development and investing, but also, I did a course called, I did the course with Igor, public speaking course, right? All these courses help me become the person I am, and eventually be confident enough to become like a motivational speaker on stage. And yeah, so that's one of my
Love that.
that's my first project. And then the second project, and I hope it's everyone's first, is our CIU or WCIU program.
WCRU,
right?
yeah.
It is the most craziest program. It is, like, I don't worry about the future. Like how you said about money, I don't even care about money.
Yeah,
If I grow, I give it away. I just, like, I know, I know that I'm still young. I know that I've done the right things. I've created not only a portfolio here, I've done other investments because of the education. But I know that CIU, WCIU is gonna be amazing, and not just now and like in the future, but like forever. Like I know that my lineage, my bloodline, they will never have to worry again.
Yes, definitely.
And that's a blessing. And yeah, WCIU all the way. Like that's gonna always be my top two
Exactly.
programs in our ecosystem.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Just don't know where to start. Like we have these amazing projects and they keep on coming. These are not just one of them, but there's so much happening behind the scenes that they are constantly working on, and more projects to be added to our average. And it's amazing what we have. And I know that with people out there, once they know the real core of what we do, I know they would want to jump, into what we have, because we're not only focusing on just one project alone. We are involved in so many areas of the market, of the economy. And I think that's one way to best describe our mission, our theory, the new economic evolution of the world. We are creating it now, right? And that's something, when you think about our mission and that theory, oh my gosh, it just shooks you to the core, knowing that it's actually happening, right? Unfolding in front of us, right? And this rebranding of our average and putting all of these projects under this umbrella, it's mind-blowing. And I always am excited to share, because I don't know, out of all the things that I've involved in the past, I've never seen such a layout, or how do you put it, such a concept and a yay. It's unbelievable. So if you are listening out there and you're listening to what Josh was saying about his favorites and what we're doing, get involved, because this is something that whether you want to jump in or not, we are moving forward. We are progressing. We're, whether without you or we're still moving forward. And look at where we are at today, from the with our WCRU crew, before WCRU now started March 30th of 2019, right? Yep. And look at where we are at now with our WCRU. Oh, it's unbelievable. And if you know how money works, if you put your money to work hard for you, and not the other way around, of you going to work hard for the money, you would want to jump in on this. So, incredible. I love that too, because that's my favorite. Okay, so what would be a challenge? Our last question before I let you go. What would be a challenge or words of encouragement you want to leave for anyone out there that's watching, or everything you've learned so far? What would be, because I know you're, when I see you every morning, throughout the day, you post this very, not only funny, but also, you leave a message that speaks so much meaning. So what would you want to leave with people?
Oh, there's so much. We might have to do 3-4 sessions now. But if we go back to like the, back to like the core of it, like give something a go. Like it wasn't until I gave this a go that I understood, or felt or knew that there's more out there in life, right? Like my little life at that time was like, it came with a boundary. Like it was limited. And because I chose to make decisions in my life that were hard, and like, don't get it wrong, it's been a hard journey. Like I try to be as positive as I can,
Right.
but I have ups and downs just like everyone else.
Yeah.
But I know with the law of attraction, and then we learned about this, you know, with our self development stuff. You know, the law of attraction. If I put out into the universe good vibes, good things, and I pray, and that, you know, I'm gonna get that back. And I just need to, like, you know, remove the negativity from my life. And it's that negativity, people. If you're focused on the bad things people say, the judgment that you're gonna get, you know, or the dislikes and the, you know, the frowns and, you know, all those, you know, those feelings, you're gonna be stuck. You're already stuck. You just don't know that you're stuck. Society's made you stuck. Communities made you stuck. Your past has made you stuck. If you want to progress and become limitless in your decision making and your experiences, you need to take action. And whether you're trying and you fail, like, just keep trying. Like, before I used to feel and think that, you know, failing was big. Like I used to take it to heart, and I used to stop, and like it really like slowed my journey or stopped my journey back, you know, down whenever failure came up in my life. Now, if we look at it in a positive way, if you look at the failure and then you do what you're supposed to do with failure. So with failure, there's a solution after it, because you identified what the failure is. Now you know what you shouldn't do to get past the failure is the learning part, and then moving on, right?
Yes.
And you can't do that if you don't trust in yourself, if you don't have love in yourself. So if anything, love yourself enough to give yourself a chance, and to give your family a chance, to give your future a chance. Give it a go, because what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
Like, you're trying. Like, it's not like you're not, you know, like if you're not trying, you're not achieving anything. But if you're trying, you're planting a seed that, you know, could eventually become, you know, like a bountiful fruit tree or a tree of shade. But if you don't plant a seed, you're not gonna get anything, right? And in order to do that, you need to take action. You need to believe in yourself. You need to start learning. You need to, you know, be with people that you resonate with. Or I think Hoxie said it, and it's quite popular, but it's just my version of it. If you surround yourself with 5 stupid people, you become the 6th stupid person, right? If you surround yourself with 5 smart people, you become the 6th smart person, right?
That's right.
So,
that's right.
Just being part of a community that you can rub off each other, rub off on your vibes. And that's what I love about this. I see you from there, you're doing your work, you're amazing over there. I see Alina over there, I see Aman's over there, I see Rita, Andrew, Neil, all our people doing their things, and they're doing it passionately, and they're just sharing and you know, the love that they have for their company and for each other. That's what keeps me like, you know, going and stuff, you know. And that's because I chose to be a part of the community. If I didn't come into the community, I wouldn't feel the way that I'm in. So go and, you know, come and see what we're about. Ask questions, because I know people, you know, they're skeptical, and skepticism is normal, right? It's like a safety kind of mechanism for us, because we don't know. You're never gonna know if you don't inquire, guys. You know, well, you're just stuck. You're stuck because you know everything that you do here now. You know, government, society told you, but you're not gonna know until you find out for yourself.
That's right.
And it took me a while, but now I'm here. Now we're here, and now the community is here. We're not going anywhere. You will see us every day. You know, you'll hear our message every day. And it'll be up to you. We were giving you opportunity to become part of this community, part of this ecosystem where we prosper. Not just the rich people at the top, and the governments and all the, you know, those people. The people here, the people that matter, the people who give these guys, you know, all their power and money and stuff.
That's right.
We then become the power. We become the system. We become the community that looks after each other. It's not about them versus us, or I'm better than you. No, we're all on the same level. You know, like our presidents, whatever the rank is, or how much money these guys are down to earth. Everyone's humble as here, right? Exactly. And that's what I love. I just come and join us. Come and ask questions. You know, like, give yourself. Just trust yourself. You know, there's something out there that's better than what you have. Not to say you have a bad life. I'm just saying that you could give your kids a better life. If we look at the environment, if we just look at, you know, progression of time and stuff, everything's getting more expensive.
Yeah.
Houses are getting expensive. Cost of living is going expensive, but our wages sit around here.
Yeah.
And, you know, it doesn't really,
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't really match, right? There's a massive, massive gap, right?
Yes,
If we're
exactly.
using the schooling system, right?
Yeah.
And if you did well in school, like if you became a doctor or lawyer or anything, you know, you're not too far off, you know?
Yes.
You only, yeah. But if
Absolutely.
you're an entrepreneur, if you're an
Yeah.
investor, you can meet these, you know, these increase in costs, and you
That's
can
right.
exceed them.
Mm.
But all of that comes with, you know, discipline, commitment, learning. All right.
Mm.
Again, it's not an easy journey, but like
Yeah.
nothing is, you know, like we still gotta put in the hard yards. You still, when you
Exactly.
plant your seed, you have to weed around it. You need to, you know, give it light. You gotta feed it. You gotta, you know, gotta keep it safe. It's a journey.
Yeah.
It's definitely a
Yeah.
journey. And you know, I've been on this journey since 2017 now, 4 years in the making, you know, and things are looking amazing. You know, my life has, you know, changed dramatically, and
Yeah.
I've met so many great people that I call family, and
Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to the rest of my journey. And yeah, that's
Wow.
it. Sorry, Ellie.
Gosh.
I like to
No,
ramble. I
that
like to talk
it's
a
so
lot.
powerful. I just love, oh my gosh. Well, there you go. You know, everybody out there that's watching, or you'll be able to watch the replay after. I know some part of the world they're sleeping, and then, but the massive information and massive, powerful words of wisdom that you mentioned, and I love what you mentioned about loving yourself, getting to know yourself better, and first of all, love yourself, because if you love yourself, you'll know how yourself works. And the law of attraction, you know, you mentioned, it really speaks volume, because whatever you give out to the world, that's exactly what you're going to be receiving, right? And whatever you do to others, you know, it just vice versa. So it's very, very powerful. And I love how also being an entrepreneur, and you know, we have a concept what we called MLCI, our multi-level investing so platform, and it's a system, a model that we use that it's never been used by any people out there, you know. And with us, you know, you get to $10, you become part of us. Just $10 to start off with. When I first heard of investment, I literally thought that, oh my gosh, I need to have millions and thousands of dollars to start out with. That was my initial thinking, my mindset back then. It's like, oh my gosh, you want me to become an investor? I don't have any money, like, you know, to thousands or blah, blah, blah. But then I realized that, you know, like you said about our Academy of Private Investor, you know, without that academy, we've learned so much from that, and I'm grateful for that. And you know, as I came into this with a leap of faith. I did not know anything about this company. I just jumped in and say, and then learn later. That's how I
Yeah.
was
Richard
crazy.
Branson says that. He said that.
Yeah. So, but then
Yeah.
after I told myself, this is one of the greatest decisions that I've made, you know, in my life, as being an entrepreneur and an online marketer. And I've, you know, it's amazing. And I resonate with everything that you mentioned. And for us out there, you know, if you're watching, you know, take heed, rewatch what Josh said. It's so important. Never give up. You know, sometimes we go through failures, and sometimes when we post things online, you know, don't think that we have our issues too, right? We're humans ourselves. We have, well, sometimes we don't show it, you know, because we're just made strong like that. We just are strong people, and we don't want to, you know. But you know, it's so important that whatever we do in life, don't give up on yourself. There were a lot of things that I also were involved in the past too, like you know, like what we went through with Losa on our session last week. You know, we were together in other stuff as well, but you know, it failed. But that doesn't mean that we're going to be stuck down there and not be open-minded still, right? And you know, I just love all what you said, because it just resonates with what we went through, what we go through every day, and part of life, right? So thank you so much, Josh, for this morning. You know, I'm so grateful to hear from you, and grateful. I know you're very, very busy. I know we were supposed to do this session last week, but you were just flat out busy. It's like, okay, I'll leave it to you. I'm just gonna watch your journey while you go and have fun. That's great. You deserve it. You
Yeah.
deserve it. You know, but yeah, but it's amazing. So guys, join our community, join our Average community, because this is you're creating a legacy for your families. You know, like what I love what Josh always says, you know, you're planting seeds. You know, he's planted seeds for his loved ones already. And you look, you know, it's growing. And I know you're seeing your back office. Look at those seeds, you know, just growing every day. And that's just
Yeah.
amazing. So, Josh, you know, thank you so much for your time. Very valuable. I know you're at work as well. But as for now, tune in on Friday as well. We're going to have another session on Friday this week. But for now, thank you for joining us, Josh. Oh my gosh, I don't know what to say, but thank you so massive respect to you and your leadership, and continue to be that humble and unique kind of person. Your energy and your value to our community means a lot, and we all appreciate it from all across the world. So thank you for being with us today. Have a good one, Josh, and stay blessed. Thank
Bless you
you.
too. Thank you,
All
sis.
right. You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Penny.
Yeah, thanks. Bye, bro.